You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Commercial! Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here live, and you can listen to us on 105.5 FM, 660 AM, or listen to us online at floridamanradio.com, or download the Florida Man Radio app. You can also find us on the iHeart app. You just call, and you can call or text into the show at any time to 321-339-1055. I am your host, Angela Smerito, and in studio, our producer today is a good friend of mine, Justin Stedman. Hey, Justin.
Hello, everybody.
So, do we call you Stedman, or because you see, you call me Goober, I call him.
I do.
Yeah. So, what would you like us to call you?
Stedman is fine.
Stedman is good. Yes. So yes, well, we have some stories. We'll go way back, and then we also have my girl Emily Murphy in studio.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Good to be here.
I know. I'm happy to have you here too. And then our guest today is none other than Mr. Zach Edler with Impact Electric of Orlando.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So I said this on my on my Facebook Live on the way here. Zach was our first guest of the year of the show, and now you're going to be our last guest for the year. So I can't even believe that it's been.
That's crazy.
It's been a year. I mean, our first show was January 16th, and so we're like, it's about 3 weeks shy of a full year, but it's been an awesome year. I'm very excited about that. Melissa is not in studio with us today, but she left all of her cameras, which I know she was very nervous about. So
we got it. We got it, Melissa. Don't worry.
But Striking Brand has been producing our weekly YouTube videos of BaaD Radio, which you can find on baadradio.com. And if you're looking for some excellent video photography work, you have to check out all of Melissa's work on strikingbrand.com. Sponsorship mentions. None other than Premier Couple Superstore. So 'tis the season to cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Premier Couple Superstore has everything from sexy bedroom outfits, toys, games, love oils, and everything in between. You can visit them at premiercouples.net. Premier Couple Superstore, because couples that play together stay together. And also thank you to Liberty Property Inspections. They specialize in home and commercial building inspections, environmental inspections, roof certifications, and pool inspections. They can also save you money on wind mitigation inspection. You can call them at 407-739-5795 or visit them at libertypropertyinspections.net. Also, a huge thank you to Kazoo Creative and Angela Keen's Hair and Makeup. All right, so Melissa's not here, but Emily is back in the house today. And I mean, guys, today's show is just really casual, so we're just gonna have a good time right now. But I know you were talking about holiday parties.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be our last health tip of the year. So what you got for us?
So a lot of people they're either struggling through this time with anxiety and worry about what they should eat and how they should navigate the holiday parties and events and time with family coming up, or they've totally said screw it and I'll deal with this in January, right? So
is that you, Zach?
Yes. Well, I was just thinking I'm happy that we're having the show today and not before our Christmas party last night, because there was no rules.
Yeah. So the big thing there is not to be all or nothing.
Right.
That it's okay to try to make healthy decisions, even if you blew it last night, no matter how bad it was last night.
2 orders of pretzel bites, which probably wasn't approved by Emily.
Confession time. The worst thing for me is getting to holiday parties, and I'll have not seen somebody in so long, and it's like they start telling me everything they ate the last week, right. And I'm just trying to have a normal conversation.
Right.
Do you ever notice that people look at you and they like to start put stuff down, or they like put it behind their back?
I haven't had one of these in so long.
Yeah. I swear this is my first one I've had all year.
Yes. Is Emily here? Hide this.
Yeah.
No, it's like, don't worry, I'm just normal too, and eating and not judging. It's like, I don't want to be working when I'm at parties either. So
right?
It's like if you knew a dentist and you started like pulling your mouth back and asking him about your teeth at a party. Like, I don't want to talk about your weight or anything else. Like, we can talk about that in January or afterwards.
Oh, girl,
so.
people do it to me all the time with the alcohol because I don't drink anymore. They'll have a glass of wine and you see them go, I'm not hardly drinking at all anymore. I was like, girl, I don't care. I'm like, shots, do them. You know what I mean? This is no judgment zone here.
And that's funny too. I was thinking about that because we were at a party the other night together, and we were just talking about fun times drinking and things. And for you guys that don't know Angela personally, or that you may be out with her and you may be drinking, or you may be thinking about sober and being sober curious, or you're in the Pass the Buzz group. It's really cool to be able to talk to somebody that has dealt with alcohol issues, is sober and still in that journey and going through it. And it's super casual, and it's not weird at all. And you make people feel really comfortable and wherever they are in their journey with it.
I'm so happy where I am in life right now in regards to alcohol, that when I see people like enjoying themselves, it gives me a tremendous amount of happiness. And I don't want anybody to be worried that I'm going to be scared, or I don't want them to worry about it at all. So I love it when people let loose around me, and you know what? I'll give them a ride home. Because I can do that now.
And I guess that's how I feel kind of about food too, and all, things, fitness and exercise and all that. It's so the other part of this is not knowing how to eat before a holiday party, or not knowing what to eat after and the next days after. And so a lot of people will hold back on calories and not eat all day and think they're saving calories, but then they're so hungry by the time they get in front of food that would be really hard to resist anyway, or really hard to have any boundaries with, and say like, maybe I'm going to eat a couple cookies, or I'm going to do my best, but then you're way overeating and overcompensating because you're so hungry. And your blood sugar's just been bouncing around all day, and then the next day recovering is harder. You don't need to go kill yourself with exercise, but some sort of exercise or movement would be good, and it would help your metabolism start to clear out some of the junk. So again, not being all or nothing. A walk at night after you have a huge meal would be great. Like
I can't breathe.
We always try to walk the dog or something, even like barely 10 minutes, just like a little walk or something, just to start that before you lay down and go to sleep. This is a big time for heart attacks. And
is it really?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. I just never thought about that.
People eat huge meals and then they just sit around and do nothing. And there's, they might not be in the greatest health beforehand, but it is. And so that's super sad. And if there's anything that could be, you could prevent it, trying to just not overdo it and eat until you're absolutely stuffed and you're way past that point. Just knowing that we could save you could save any of these things or go out and buy them tomorrow and have them all over again. And just getting out of that scarcity mindset that I have to get all of this in right now.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, you're talking about the
say that there's cookie, like the other night we had cookies at the party or something like do you, what is your limit to where you're actually feeling uncomfortable and not enjoying it anymore, but you're just eating them or anything where tomorrow, we could go back to Publix and get as many cookies as we want. So we could think about it I'm just going to say no or stop now and start again when my body could actually handle it, and I won't be missing out on anything.
I know that the other night, because those cookies were really good.
Everybody kept going back. It was like chips. People were eating them like chips.
And there was these Heath ones that I've never had before. But a couple times when I went back, I grabbed a piece of celery, and then I distracted myself. Because I can distract myself, and then I start getting into a conversation, and then I've forgotten about the cookies, and so a couple times I did that, which worked out good for me.
Well,
but
and
I
that's
still
the
let
other
myself
part
have some
is
cookies.
let's try to enjoy the people around us and the actual event, and it not just be centered everything around food or alcohol, because we can all think back to a time, hopefully, and think back to where food and alcohol didn't matter, where you actually showed up. Even maybe it was just you as a kid.
Right.
Maybe you're at Christmas parties and your cousins are there, or whatever, your family, and there was a time where food and alcohol wasn't the thing,
right?
And you were just there to be there.
That is one thing. When I was struggling with alcohol, and I couldn't think of being able to enjoy a holiday party without alcohol, or even a kid's birthday party. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have to do something like this without there being alcohol. And one of the things I just would keep telling myself is, those kids go to that party and they're not thinking about drinking.
No.
They're so excited about that party or that get together, and they're not thinking about alcohol. I was like, you've done it before.
Yeah.
And so the way that you're thinking right now just doesn't make sense. And so I would use children as kind of like a way to motivate me to, because their minds are so simple about what they get excited about.
Right.
And I'm sitting here complicating it, going, I'm going to have to sit through a 2-hour birthday party with no wine.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And if birthday parties are hard.
yeah.
Well,
Especially like 6 and under.
I think it's the same thing if you talk about meals or you talk about alcohol. It's just slowly starting to change the normal routine. If you have a big meal, like I like to mess with Emily. So when I have a big steak on Sunday, I like to send her a picture and get her blood pressure up. And her response always is to me is go for a walk after dinner with your wife and kids. And, when you think about it, and it doesn't have to be a mile-long walk, but it could just be a small walk around the block or something like that. And I don't do it often enough with my family. And when I do, it's really one of those times that I look back on and really, treasure of watching my kids run in front of my wife and I when we're walking.
Yeah.
And it's something that, her and I need to incorporate more after dinner.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just go to the couch.
Oh, yeah.
After you eat and sit down. And
We always had the kids in the wagon, especially around the holidays, to like look at all the lights.
Yeah.
And we'd get them all bundled up and put little speaker in there and listen to Christmas music. It was so special. It's so funny. I posted a video of Anna that Tom had her in a laundry basket. And we had she was holding like a little reindeer in front of it, and he was just like flying her around. And I was like, I can't believe she fit in a laundry basket.
Yeah, so little. Yeah. But another thing that we went over this week inside my group, inside the trainings, is a lot of people were asking, what do I do? Showing up to places where I don't want to eat all the food or all the things, and will that be rude? And you have food and alcohol pushers, right?
Oh, definitely.
And so we went over this because people are going to feel uncomfortable if you aren't doing what they're doing, and that goes for the alcohol, for sure. But some people very much love other people with food. That is their hosting or making food and giving people food. Like we got left cookies here by a Secret Santa here. When we got in, there was cookies.
And they were in front of Emily. It was great.
That's totally normal at this time of year for somebody that like their love language is food, right? And giving and showing, that you care about somebody by giving them something like that is totally normal. And these things, it's okay if you tell people that, if there are people that are around you that care about you, it's okay to ask and ask them to be respectful of your boundaries, and you don't have to be that formal and weird about it. But I mean, for drinking, I've had a lot of my girls have to say, they're on antibiotics or something that just helps take the pressure, off of.
Actually,
why aren't you drinking or why aren't you eating?
I use that one all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm taking something right now that I can't drink with at first. So.
And most of my girls feel so much better when they pull gluten and dairy out of their diets, and they're not necessarily allergic to them. But you can tell people that you're figuring out you have some food sensitivities and something going wrong, and it's just you're not sure, but you're trying to figure it out. And it's okay. Most people will respect that, and it's usually our own guilt or something that you're trying to talk yourself out of your goals not being important enough, I think. And
I just tell people, hey, I'll pound Gatorades. And you pound whatever you want. You guys can do what you guys want to do at the party, and I'll drink a 8-pack of Gatorade. I don't drink, and that's I just kind of have fun with it and joke around about it in that aspect, and that's my way out in front of the guys.
Yeah.
So you guys hold that thought. I think that we are about to go to break because, like I said, we're just going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to pick up right here.
We're going to see how many cookies we can eat on this break.
0.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Is brought to you by none other than Impact Electric of Orlando, who focuses on residential and commercial electrical work. Zach and his team focus on doing things right the first time to ensure that you, your family, and your home are safe. Everybody needs to know an electrician you can trust, and that is Impact Electric. You can call them at 407-747-0874 or visit impactelectricfl.com. Wow, that's a little intimidating doing the live read right in front of the actual client. I was like, okay. I also want to thank Andrew's Law PA and Sheepdog Promotional Products. All right, so like I said, we're just going to pick up where we left off, but like I said, let's talk with Zach a little bit. So you said you have your holiday party, or you had it last night, or it's coming up?
Yeah, we had it last night. We went to Top Golf. My guys have been there, and they kept telling me, Zach, we got to go. We got to go.
The one in Lake Mary?
Yeah, so we went to the one in Lake Mary, which was nice because it's a short drive to the shop. And we went there, and they normally get me out once a year to swing a golf club. I don't have a governor when I swing. So typically I'll walk a little funny for the coming days afterwards.
What do you mean? You like make yourself sore?
Yeah, I swing, there's no need to back off. It's swing as hard as you can every time. And typically I have a chiropractor appointment set up that Monday.
Oh gosh.
And it was a fun time. I mean, they told me about it. I've never been. My wife's never been. So we went, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How many employees do you have now?
We have 6 plus myself at this point.
Well, you're an employee too, though, right?
Yeah. So I'm out in the field with the guys. I bounce from crew to crew, and then to meetings as needed, and try to figure out the best place for me to go every day.
Oh yes. Do you ever do like the surprise where they don't know you're coming?
Yeah. So I've been starting to do that where they give me constant updates when they're on jobs if I'm not there, and sometimes it's nice to just pop in and lend an extra hand, especially when they weren't expecting me, because it helps move the job along, and that's our biggest goal. We really value the time of our homeowners and business owners that we're servicing, so we like to get in and out as efficiently as possible where they can move on with their day.
Yeah, I've since you and I've met, I've heard your name come up so many times in just different settings. A lot of it, like I said, is related to this radio show or to networking in general. So how was your year this year?
It was a wild ride. I mean, we're very blessed in the referral partners that we do have, and some of the coolest times throughout the year was when a homeowner or business owner called me and they said, hey, we got your name from one of our friends, and then we called our insurance agent and asked them for a referral, and they referred you. And then we talked to our realtor for the new house that we were purchasing, and they referred you. And so it's really cool when that snowball of referral partners start to happen, and you're getting referred to the same homeowner from multiple different people.
No, I think that's fantastic.
I mean, there's no better feeling than that as a small business owner, especially when, word of mouth is so important to us in our growth.
I thought it was weird. I remember, didn't you say one time somebody said they heard you on the radio and they were just calling or they weren't actually hiring you. They just said, I have your number now?
Yeah, so they heard the commercial that we were running, and they called me, and I picked up, and they go, you picked up the phone. And I said, I try to pick up every call that comes in or return it rather quickly.
That's really hard, Zach.
It is, and sometimes, depending on what job we're on, if it's an emergency outage and we're trying to restore power, that time could be a little lengthier because I'm in the weeds with my guys, but and they go, you picked up the phone. They go, we're gonna save your number. We just wanted to let you know we heard your commercial. We really liked it and wanted to call you to save it because we knew if we didn't, we wouldn't have it.
So I've never heard that. But somebody's just called to say. I've heard people say, "Oh, I've called because I heard the commercial. I want to let you know I heard it," but they knew the person, not just somebody completely that you don't know at all. So had they called you?
No, we have not heard from them on a job, but and that's what it's all about. We really believe in building those relationships and educating homeowners if that's the time, and we're not going to come out and push things that are non-beneficial to your property or things you don't need. We're really there to build that relationship, and when you need us, give us a call and we'll be there.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I was talking with my son Aiden, and he's asked me about you like 10 times. But he's a child. So the reason though, he was like, he wants to know how he would get started.
Just call me. We're ready. He can start on Monday. But, like when I started in the trade, I started in the summers and in school breaks. And, then when I went to college on a baseball scholarship, I was working on my breaks when I would come home because I didn't just want to sit around. Mm-hmm. So I would work all day and then go to the field and practice in the afternoon, early evenings when I would get off.
But if somebody wanted to like really focus on having a career as an electrician, I know call you, but like I said, like, how does it all work?
So, what they would do is we would do the onboarding process, and then they have trade schools that they can get enrolled in that are evening classes, and the company covers those for employees that want to attend trade schools, and they can go that route. But, the biggest thing is getting, if he's serious about getting in the trade, is starting the conversation.
Yeah.
Reach out to me and have that conversation on what it's like, and if there ever is a Christmas break or something like that, and he just wants to tag along for a day.
Along like cops.
Yeah,
Oh my God. He would love it.
He could come out and, we'd pay him for the day. He could see what it's like and see some jobs that we're doing. And
would
just,
you really do that? Because he would absolutely love that.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you, as far as like the risk of what you do, because is that something you think about? Like sending it's not really.
I'm not worried about hurting him. I'm hurting about him shocking the hell out of himself.
Right. Like if he was going to be a plumber, you wouldn't be necessarily that worried, right?
It's all about knowing what you're dealing with in what situations, because a lot of people that work on switches, outlets, stuff like that, they're like, no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. It can kill you in a second.
Yeah,
and it's just an outlet. But it takes the right situation to put you in that life-threatening place when you're talking about a receptacle or an outlet or something like that. But, it's from my standpoint as the owner, it's my responsibility to know what exposure I'm putting that employee in, and making sure they have the proper training and the wherewithal of what they're dealing with and what hazards it is. And we have morning safety briefings where we go over that. We go over the hazards of the day, job by job, what my guys could run into. And we do, it's a very serious meeting. It's something I don't take lightly. I hope that, I never find myself in that situation, and in life safety situations are something I don't joke around with. Yeah, because it is very serious in our industry. Oh
yeah, I've shocked myself pretty good before to where it flung my arm back.
Oh yeah.
It was just an open socket, but it went from one room to another, and I was trying to I wasn't messing with the electrical part.
Right.
I was just running a wire through it, like a telephone wire, and I put metal in there just to like pull it through, and it was a screwdriver, and it hit something, and it like my arm flew back, and I flung the thing, and I you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It was the most bizarre pain I've ever felt in my life. Have you ever gotten a good shock?
Not that just wasn't really quick.
Yeah. I could feel it in my teeth.
Yeah, well, and the biggest thing is it all depends on what, if you have your knee on the ground and you touch something, you're giving that circuit a path to ground. So you're going to feel it a lot harder versus if you have, rubber-soled shoes on that are
I always
insulated.
wondered if that was really a myth.
No, it's not a myth. But, it's, like I said, we take it very serious, that aspect of things, because all it takes is a millisecond.
Yeah.
And your life can change forever. Just from an arc flash.
I don't know what that is, but is that like...
So when you touch something and it grounds out, you'll see a bluish light that happens real fast. And, something, if it arcs onto you, you could not only, you could get skin burns, your vision could be damaged, and your life's changed forever in a millisecond just because you weren't paying attention.
What about you, Stedman? You ever got a good shock?
Oh yeah. I don't mess with that stuff. I always make sure that the breaker box is off and everything. When I was more able to do things and get up on ladders and things like that, that was my biggest fear, was getting shocked off the ladder. Luckily, it didn't happen more than once.
One time is good.
Just once. Once will wake you up.
What made you decide to get into being an electrician in the first place?
So, I did it, like I said, I started as a summer job, and then I really caught the high of the industry. We do a lot of remodel projects, additions, ADU units, like in-law suites, detached structures,
right?
Stuff like that, and service work. We do a ton of that as well. But it's just that high of the industry from seeing a project from start to finish, or even just going into a residence and doing a lighting package, new light fixtures,
Like
adding recessed cans to rooms, and really you can transform the feeling of a property.
Oh my gosh.
By the
totally.
lighting, and it's just always caught me and made me more and more, intrigued and bought into the industry, where each day's a little bit different. We do repetitive tasks, but it's always a different routine, and that's always been so interesting to me. So it's not like it's a 8 o'clock sales meeting and 10 o'clock. There's no repetitive schedule and repetitive tasks.
Right. Do you find it difficult to be the marketer of your business as well as you kind of wear all the hats, right?
Yeah, so it's my hardest part is I really enjoy servicing and making the homeowner or business owner meeting their expectations and exceeding
Yeah.
them.
You want to be in the field.
Yeah, and I want to be in the field. So it's been, it's always been a transition to me ever since probably about a decade ago. I've transitioned into selling jobs and doing that side of customer relations, but I enjoy all angles of it, because you get to hear when you're out selling jobs and talking with homeowners and business owners and developing that relationship, you get to hear their life story and how they got to where they are today, and you get to hear about their families. And there's kids
I never really thought about that.
There's kids that I was playing Go Fish with that are now graduating high school.
Right.
So it's always fun to, you're walking out of a house and there's a young child outside and you're kicking the soccer ball with them and throwing the football with them, and it's just really fun to develop those relationships.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince him to hire an executive assistant, though,
I bet you are.
and not answer every call.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was offering to answer my phones.
I wasn't asking for a job. No.
Like an answering service, something that the calls go to and then they vet them,
Well, yeah,
right?
or an executive assistant that helps you with different things. It's just like, I'm here to do what you need me to do, because I think there's a need for that. He has 3 kids, right? A beautiful wife, and it's hard to break away. We talk about it's hard for him to pull away on weekends and get any time off, right? And that's any business owner's struggle,
Right.
is trying to create any kind of automation or systems where you can scale, and you don't always have to be in front of the customer, and you can be, and you can input yourself there when
That's
you
hard,
want
though.
to.
It's letting go and letting somebody else represent you as a small business. That is hard. Like I said, I could see. And like I said, I know, because you have your fingers in everything. So I know that it would be hard for you to just.
Well, and it is, because my guys and I have worked so hard to build our brand and our reputation around town, and they're doing a phenomenal job as we're continuously to fiercely grow in handling the labor side of things and handling more jobs, of course, with my oversight to it. But it's hard to pick and choose where the best place for me to go each day is, and to really let go of that first impression from the customer.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when you talk about the service side of our business, you got a homeowner or business owner that's calling and they have a problem and they don't know, is this a fire hazard? Is this a problem? So they want to talk to somebody who is very educated in the field, in the industry, to really, you can either calm the waters or you can make the waters very, very rough real quick. And it's all about how the tone you use, how you answer their questions. And, we try to put everybody at ease and handle it as efficiently as possible when those times come up.
Right. But then there's some people like me, I'm sure, that want some wires hidden in their house. Some 2 electrical outlets don't work. You don't have to answer that. You have to answer my call, but you don't have to answer that call right then.
You see how she separated that.
I'm on the list somewhere.
Yeah,
we have
there.
wires all over our house that are just like there's the thing that needs the electricity and then the wire running to the cord. And I send him 5 pictures around my house.
That would make me insane.
I'm I need these gone someday.
Well, hold that thought again, because we are actually going to go to break, and when we come back, we're just going to keep having fun. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And we are back. You can call or text in at any time to 321-339-1055. I always say 0. Heather's not here to scold me. But this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. Servicing your sprinkler system is probably the most overlooked maintenance of your home, but it's so important. Talking curb appeal, people. Check out Ground Up Property Services Sprinkler System Service Program at groundupinc.com or call 407-468-4295. I'd also like to thank Four Seasons AC, Artistic Beauty, and 33 Tanning and Micro Spa with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. All right, we're back, and we're just chatting with Zach and Emily and Stedman and having a good time here. On break, we were talking about some funny stories about some of the stuff that you've seen over the years. So
I think last time I was on, we were talking about the attacking frogs.
Oh, yeah.
right.
And we got a joke because my guys tell me, they go, there's not many things that seem to bother you.
But you're not a frog person.
I'm not a frog person, and there are a thing in Central Florida called attacking lizards, okay? And they get vicious. And when you come up on a lizard that's in a electrical, panel, bubble cover on the exterior of a fixture, they tend to get startled, as do I.
But why
Like
do they
a
have to do
regular
that?
lizard?
Yeah, and they move very fast.
Attacking lizard?
Yeah, and I don't like lizards, okay, or frogs. And so when I yell at my guys, because I always go up and I meet the homeowner, business owner, let them know we're there. And we go and get started, and I yell for one of them. And, the running joke in the company is when I yell for them and they come up, they go frog or lizard. It's just kind of funny. And
You have little nets and traps
Yeah,
in your truck.
I can't stand them. And they're all
Lizard trap or
and
nerd.
you have you open up your mailbox and they're on your mail, and you're just like, why? Why do you have to be there? Why you have a whole world?
Right, and it's
why
like
on my mail.
There's no way you didn't hear me coming. I'm 240 pounds. You heard the ground moving when I was walking up. Run away, and they're always there. And the other things, bees. We do a lot of outside work, exterior lighting.
Wasps too, I bet.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people let dogs out at night, especially this time of year. It's getting darker earlier, and when you let your animals out, you want to see what's going on and be able to watch them. And a lot of times you'll be taking bulbs out of existing fixtures, stuff like that, and there's nests back there.
Oh, God.
And they don't like being startled. And so you see a lot of times guys jumping off ladders, stuff like that, and you know immediately what's going on. There's a nest behind the bulb.
We moved into our house, and this is how we met our neighbor. We had these huge birds of paradise, and there was tons of wasps in them. And so we were cutting back one day. We're trying to cut back the birds of paradise in our front yard. And we've each got, my husband and I each have a wasp spray, and we're like just ducking and diving and cutting them. And our neighbor walks over. He's like, I've been watching you guys for a couple hours now.
He's sitting there with
my name's Ray.
Popcorn.
He's like, this has been a great show. Yeah, it was so funny.
We used to have wasps at our we used to have a townhouse, and they always would like to position themselves right by the front door. So you open the door to leave, and they swarm your head. And then when you're coming, especially if you have groceries, you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
So this one time, Tommy got the spray, like the one that shoots out really far.
Yeah.
And it was the wasps were on there, and he hit it. And for some reason, it petrified 2 of the wasps that were on that nest. And he was going to knock it down, but we got distracted, and so he just left it there. We never had a wasp problem again after that. We left it there, and it stayed because it was covered. And so I guess wasps are just territorial, and so they're like, "Oh, there's somebody already there." And so for as long as we lived there, we never had a wasp problem again.
We do every couple seasons, it's like they it's everywhere. Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know what? I just had a business idea.
So I got a funny story about a lizard.
Okay.
So one day a week, I'm a solo dad. My wife goes to Bible study, and I typically order dinner that night for the kids and I. We got 3 kids under 5, and one night I opened the door to receive her food, and a very large lizard comes in the house, and I couldn't find it when it came in. And so my 2-year-old daughter, who's now 3, goes to bed. And my wife's great. Like I said, we got a lot of hazards in what we do. And so when the kids get up in the middle of the night, she says that she would rather handle the kids than deal with me grumpy. And so I heard Ramsey crying in the middle of the night, and I just faintly. And so the next morning I'm brushing my teeth and getting ready to leave the house, and Nikki goes, babe, I said, what happened with Ramsey last night? And she goes, I said, did she have a bad dream? And she goes, no. A lizard was in her room and ran across her face. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she goes, I could not get her back to sleep.
Of course.
And I
She's gotta be traumatizing.
And so at that point, I'm contemplating in my head, do I admit to my wife that I'm the one who caused this trauma to our daughter? And so I said, baby, I got to confess something to you. I let the lizard in the house last night. And she's like, I cannot believe. She said it took her 2.5 hours to get Ramsey back down.
I would freak out if a lizard ran over my face while I was sleeping. My Anna would come around. She would put them on her ears and walk around like earrings with them on.
That's what we used to do as kids.
Really?
Yeah.
I never did that.
No. And I have a lizard. I have a chameleon.
But he's different. No. He's like,
But we like lizards and stuff. My husband takes the worms that we buy him and goes out front and sits, and he's like the lizard king. Like they all come to him.
Lizard whisperer.
It is bizarre. And oh my gosh, he's so excited. We have like another lizard that lives in our lizard's cage, and like
just like Anna used to
a roommate.
when we would do yard work. We would find the lizard nest, the eggs, and she would hatch them.
Yeah.
Like she would put them in like a little eco thing and
I don't
do
even
with the
know what an
things.
egg looks like.
They're just little white eggs, but I mean, and all of a sudden she would like hatch little baby lizards, and I'm like, girl, you are not my child because I don't know where you came from. But my younger sister Kelly was like that too. She was fine. What about spiders?
Oh gosh,
I had a bad
worst.
experience with a brown recluse up in Illinois.
Did you get bit?
Yeah. So they had to take a chunk out of my side.
Oh god.
Because I got bit and I didn't feel it, and then all of a sudden it was becoming uncomfortable to sit in my truck seat, and I've always worked long hours with whatever I did because when I was up there as substation control and relay distribution power on the utility side, and I sent a picture to one of my cousins one day. I was at the gas station filling up, and I take a picture of my side and send it to him, and he goes, "Where are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm at the gas station on the edge of town." He goes, "Drive to my house. I'm taking you to the hospital." I said, "No, I'm fine." And we went in, and they're
I
like,
just need your diagnosis, but
yeah,
I'm
was
sending
just,
you this picture.
I was just seeing if you've ever seen anything like this. I didn't really want to go to the
Where
hospital.
it like eats your flesh?
Yeah, so they had to carve out what part was had that brown recluse bite, and it was not fun. So spiders, I don't mess with spiders.
Well, we have those those brown house spiders. I
Yeah.
know they don't bite, but they jump.
Yeah.
And they're
So we can add spiders to the list. So we got frogs, lizards, and spiders. Don't mess with any of them.
yeah. Do you do the majority of yours? I'm sure I know you do indoors and outdoors, but do you do primarily more stuff indoors than like on our?
No, we do a lot of exterior work, and really that was where we found ourselves. When the COVID pandemic started, was doing a lot of outdoor lighting projects, landscape lighting, exterior outdoor living space lighting. We do pool light installation and replacements.
You do pools?
Oh yeah, so just the light.
Light.
So if you got a pool light that's not working or something like that, we can go out, troubleshoot it, pull in the new fixture if that's what's needed, or correct the issue on the GFI protection.
I've
for
always
the
been
existing.
horrified of the pool light because it's electricity underwater.
Well, and that's the biggest thing that we try to educate homeowners on is, you really need to call an electrical contractor who's educated in
Right.
in electricity, because it is something. We get a lot of calls every year. Hey, when I get near my light, I kind of feel like a slight tingle. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I said, no, it's
In the
something-
pool?
Yeah, when they're swimming. And
I never heard that.
And it's like, no, that's telling you that there's a compromise somewhere on that fixture
Right.
that we need to
my
address.
gosh.
Actually, you just made me think of another time that I got shocked, and it had to do with it was raining, and I needed to turn the pool pump off, and it was dark,
Yep.
and I just the thing that you push down.
Yeah, the timer.
I touched something in there, and it gave me a heck of a zap.
Yeah.
How much time do we have left? 1 minute?
Wrap it up, girl.
Wow. Well, you know what? Starting in January, we're going to have 2 hours. So this was super fun. And Zach, thank you so much for being such a support system for me, for the show, for Emily. Like I said, I appreciate you so much. And I just know that next year is going to be amazing. So, Emily, thank you so much. You want to give everybody your contact info?
Yeah, you can find me at gogetemcoach.com or on podcast or Facebook, Health, Hormones, and Done with Dieting.
You want to give your contact?
The best way to get a hold of me is on my cell, 407-747-0874.
That's right. He answers his own phone.
Just send him a text so he
You can call him
he
directly.
has you in his phone.
And if someone else answers, Emily got her way and I hired an assistant.
And I am Angela, and thank you so much for listening this year. You can get all the episodes on baadradio.com, and I will post more stuff, but we will be back live on January 8th. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.